Welcome to the very first Card Drew 1 Ghost Room Challenge. Today's game features some of the bravest players Paranormica has to offer. Alongside Card Drew 1, all fighting for the chance to be crowned the last player standing. These are the rules for the challenge. Number 1, no crucifixes allowed. Number 2, all players must enter the building together. Number 3, players must make sure they have all the items they need for identifying the ghost before they enter the building. Once inside, no one can leave until the end of the game. Number 4, once the room has been located, all players must stay in the room and work as a team to identify the type of ghost. Everyone must stay in the room until the ghost has killed and only one player remains alive. The last player standing can then leave the house. Number 5, all players must keep their feet on the ground. That means no climbing, flying, or glitching is allowed. Number 6, players who have died and remain in the game as ghosts must leave the room so they cannot interfere with or influence the challenge. Number 7, the last player standing must say the ghost type in the chat before pressing the exit button. All the rules have been explained to the players beforehand, and they are now ready to begin the challenge. We wish them all the best of luck as they play the very first Card Drew 1 Ghost Room Challenge. Here we see the players getting their items together outside the ranch house. The camera is attached to Card Drew, so we get to see the action from the players' point of view. They all seem to be relaxed right now, but I'm sure there'll be a few nerves among them as they prepare to meet their fate. Earlier this morning, the bookmakers had Calcifer and Card Drew as the most likely to win. But this challenge is completely unpredictable. With no place to hide, anyone can be victorious, and any one of them can die. Here we see Card Drew making sure everyone is fully prepared before going in, and making sure no items are missing. Only one player can attempt to escape, and making sure tasks on the objectives board can get done will add extra points to the winner's score. I Heart Myself and Card Drew seem to be ready to go inside. That means it's getting closer to showtime. Once inside, they have to stay together and find the ghost room as quickly as possible. When they have found it, they will then all stay inside it. It looks like CL Cashier is now ready. Anticipation for this show has been high all week since Netflix sensationally dropped Stranger Things, just so they can focus on coping with the public demand for the Card Drew 1 Ghost Room Challenge. It looks like they are doing one last check to make sure someone has salt. Joining me now is leading psychologist Martha Berry. Say hi, Martha.
Hi, Martha.
The team are now ready and entering the house. The moment has finally arrived.
I'm so excited I could pee.
The players are turning on lights and checking the rooms at the front of the house.
Lights help you to see things better.
With Vidi and CL Cashier leading the way into the master bedroom.
I have a feeling that Vidi and Calcifer will do well in this game.
That's because you are sexist.
The players are probably feeling some trepidation right now, which is completely understandable in these circumstances.
Thanks for that, Captain Obvious.
It's very dark in that room. In this environment, their minds may start playing tricks on them.
Card Drew thinks he has seen a light on somewhere, but it turns out to be a light in the living room which another player has switched on. A door opens by itself somewhere, but the players seem to miss it.
Yes, they are so focused on finding the ghost room that they are missing audible clues. Maybe if one of the female players took the lead, they wouldn't miss out on these signs. Card Drew is just storming ahead. He clearly sees himself as an alpha male.
Suddenly, phosphine gas is found in the nursery room, and all the players make their way inside. It's in here they will stay and experience immeasurable pain and suffering until we have a winner.
Card Drew's arrogance will be his undoing. It's his weakness, and the ghost will sense it. I think he will be first to die.
You really do hate men. That much is obvious.
I've had to work alongside you for 3 years now. That's enough to make any woman hate men.
You know, if I said that, I'd be out of a job straight away.
Well, why don't you say it and see if it happens?
You'd like that, wouldn't you?
Only if I get paid the same as you. It's hardly fair women get paid less in this job.
Well, maybe if you actually gave some in-depth analysis, instead of stating the obvious all the time, you might get paid more.
That's easy for you to say. You are just a commentator, getting paid to state the obvious.
And still getting more than you. After checking their equipment, all signs point to the ghost being a ghoul. With the ghost being identified quickly, they now have to play a waiting game. The ghoul appears, but it's just a ghost event. Next time, they might not be so lucky.
I'm sure that ghost event has made them feel more anxious. When they see the ghost, their sanity drops. This will make them more open to an attack. Hopefully the girls can stay safe.
You could at least try to stay impartial. At this point, I Heart Myself breaks a rule by standing on top of the chest of drawers. One more rule break and she may be disqualified from the challenge and find herself being the first player in the Card Drew 1 Ghost Room Challenge. Hall of Shame.
The bird has died. That's so sad. In this day and age, there should really be an alternative way to see if a ghost is toxic. Killing birds is an outrage. I'm sure there will be protests after this show has aired. If you are tweeting about this challenge, don't forget to use the hashtag #CardDrewBirdMurderer.
Now, the only thing for the players to do is work out where to stand. Some are hiding behind one another in the hope it will give them some protection.
It looks to me like Cardrew is hiding behind I Heart Myself. I think that says all you need to know.
I'm sure Card Drew was there first. I mean, I Heart Myself was stood on the chest of drawers a moment ago, and now she stood where Card Drew is. Card Drew makes a surprise run for the other side of the room. He has a feeling about something, and I Heart Myself decides to follow. So, do you still think it's Card Drew hiding behind I Heart Myself? He just moved to the other side of the room, and she followed him.
I don't think there is a debate to be had about who was there before the other. It's all part of the game.
What you just said? You know, Martha, you are crazy as hell.
Do you see how brave I Heart Myself is? All the other players are hiding, but she is there getting evidence. Such a strong female character.
But they already have all the evidence. It's a ghoul. There is literally no need for her to be doing that. It's suicide.
She's showing no fear. It's admirable.
It's crazy. At least Viddy and Calcifer are playing it a bit more safe. Suddenly, the ghoul makes itself visible. It's just a warning so far, but its next action may be to kill. And Viddy is alone in the corner, nearest to it. The tension is high. Something is about to give, and the players know it. The other players start to hide behind one another, but Viddy is still just stood there.
Perhaps she thinks the ghost will attack in the other direction. If that's true, then CL Cashier may well be the ghost's first target.
The constant beeping of the EMF reader must be causing a distraction to the players, but picking it up may put a player in jeopardy.
I don't think anyone will be brave enough to pick up the EMF reader, but if someone is, then I'm sure it will be one of the girls.
Card Drew has had enough, grabs the EMF reader, and switches it off.
There is definitely a change in atmosphere. It's only a matter of time now.
You are right for once. The players have been in the house for over 5 minutes now. Their luck will surely run out soon. This appearance by the ghost will either end in another ghost event or a hunt. If it's the latter, then we are guaranteed our first death in the game. And just like that, Viddy is the first player to die.
That's a huge loss for the game. Viddy was a strong competitor and a fan favorite. There will be some disappointed viewers out there. Hopefully her supporters can get behind the other players and cheer on I Heart Myself for Calcifer.
You do know there are 2 other players in the game? You are so incredibly biased.
There is nothing wrong with throwing my support behind some players.
You need to be impartial and sit on the fence when you are co-host on a show. You cannot show favoritism.
Society has been favoring men since practically the beginning of human life. I show support to women on this game show and suddenly I'm a sexist. Well, that's sexist of you to call me sexist. You are such a male chauvinist pig.
Now that's just you being cruel to animals. To everyone watching, don't forget to tweet into the show. And remember to use the hashtag #MarthaBerry_AnimalHater. Now, back to the game. The tension is almost unbearable in the room. The remaining 4 players are all huddled together in the corner. If they stay like this, then the ghost only has one direction to attack the players. I Heart Myself begins stepping in front of the other players. She is taking a big risk and an unnecessary one, and immediately pays the price. That's 2 players dead, and both of them girls. How do you feel about that now, Martha Berry? Very nice. So now we are down to the last three players, CL Cashier, Cardrew 1, and Calcifer, the 3 C's.
This is a strong showing by Calcifer so far. She's kept herself out of the way and under the radar. She's thought about a game plan, and it's being executed to perfection so far.
So Cardrew has decided to change tactic and has moved to the other side of the room to where Viddy was stood. It's clear he's hoping the ghost will spawn where it killed I Heart Myself, but there is a chance it will respawn in the middle of the room. If that happens, Cardrew has put himself in prime position to be killed.
Again, this is pure arrogance from Cardrew. He is becoming complacent. By trying to think one step ahead, he has potentially made himself the next target.
Is it complacency? Or is it genius? I guess we'll find out very soon. CL Cashier and Calcifer are tucked away in the corner together, but CL Cashier doesn't seem to realize he stood slightly in front of Calcifer. That is bad news for him. Cardrew is now telling the dead players to leave the room, as they are breaking the rules of the challenge by interfering with items when they return as ghosts. This needs to be adhered to, as they can push the ghost and influence the game.
That is true. Cardrew may not have his full attention on the game right now, even more complacency on his part. This bodes well for Calcifer.
The ghost has spawned again, and it's right in front of CL Cashier. Calcifer is tucked into the corner of the room behind him, and he is just standing there like a lemon. This is going to be a messy death.
It's a brave, confident move by Calcifer to stay behind him like that. But why isn't CL Cashier moving? Cardrew has got away with it this time, pure luck.
CL Cashier is saying in the chat that the ghoul is scrubbing him. I don't think that is what it is doing. It's probably seasoning him as he prepares to devour him for lunch.
It's smart thinking by Calcifer, staying as close to the wall as possible, unless CL Cashier moves quickly. Nope, too late. He's dead now. That seasoning must have made the ghost hungry, and he couldn't wait any longer. That was great work by Calcifer.
So now we have a face-off between Cardrew 1 and Calcifer. This is going to be a tense, nerve-wracking finale to the challenge. Who will hold their nerve?
I think the momentum is with Calcifer right now. She is clearly the braver player.
But she is up against Cardrew 1. This guy has the mentality to take on any challenge without withering. Calm and collected and cool as a cucumber. And also with a great YouTube channel that if you haven't subscribed to it by now, you really should. If you have already subscribed to it, then tweet us on the show with the hashtag I have already subscribed to Cardrew 1 and I love him, he is awesome.
But there is no way he is going to beat Calcifer. This girl has got this challenge in the bag.
You have subscribed though, haven't you?
Of course I have. The guy is a genius, but he still won't win.
It's a battle of nerves between the two of them right now. Neither one of them is speaking to the other. You can cut the atmosphere with a knife. I'm waiting for the mind games to begin between them, but no one is moving from their position.
Yes, this is when the game really becomes a psychological battle. It will all come down to tactics and bravery. The ghost can appear and kill at any given moment. Do they move from their position and risk the ghost spawning on them as they move? It's now a game of chance.
Cardrew has made his move, and it's a crazy one. He has crossed to the same side as Calcifer, but in the opposite corner.
That's an incredible decision to make so late in the game. If this backfires, he will look very silly indeed.
My guess is, he is thinking that the ghost may have respawned in the center of the room. The last time it attacked from that position, it killed Viddy in the same corner as Cardrew just moved from.
And if it hasn't respawned in the middle of the room, then it's going to kill him instantly. Because Cardrew has just moved into the corner where CL Cashier was killed, and the ghost may spawn in that very place. He was probably better off where he already was.
Let's wait and see. Calcifer is dead. We have a winner. Cardrew 1 has made it to the end.
I don't believe it. That was just pure luck and nothing else.
Now he has to make it back out to the truck, but he has one last obstacle to overcome. Due to the proximity of Calcifer to the ghost when it attacked, the front door has stayed locked. This means Cardrew will have to wait for another hunt to finish before the door will unlock itself and he can escape to victory.
He will need to avoid the ghost at all costs. If it sees him and it attacks, he will have to try and get to safety somewhere and fast.
Cardrew is taking no chances, so he returns to the ghost room to close the door. He has wisely turned on the hallway light to give himself as much visibility as possible during the hunt.
He just needs to remain patient now. Although I'm not sure standing in the hallway is the best place for him to be waiting.
The footsteps of the dead players can be heard in the hallway. I do hope they don't enter the ghost room and influence the ghost movements. If they edge the ghost towards the door, they can make the ghoul notice Card Drew, and it could attack.
Well, it looks like that is exactly what is happening. They are opening the door and moving items around. If Card Drew hears the ghost move, he better move out of that hallway, otherwise it's coming for him.
It shouldn't hunt for very long, but he is ready to take cover in the master bedroom. So Martha, what did you think of the ghost room challenge?
Well, for a first episode, I think it was a modern classic. The only negatives were having to tolerate you again, Card Drew winning, and the lack of female players.
But 3 of the 5 players were female. Was that not enough? I thought they were very well represented in this show.
Until there are shows like this exclusively for women, I will always feel we are underrepresented. The balance is still in favor of men, and until that changes, I will continue to fight.
That's great, Martha. But in future, maybe stick to being a guest on Loose Women.
Your attitude is exactly why things need to change.
Yeah, that's fascinating. The ghost hunt has stopped, so all Card Drew has to do now is get on the van, declare the ghost type, and then press exit.
I can't believe he won. That was so unfair.
He won fair and square. You are just bitter.
The real winners were I Heart Myself, Calcifer, and Viddy. They are good role models for all the female gamers watching this show. Card Drew won and CL Cashier didn't contribute anywhere near as much as the girls did to this game.
I have never met anyone so biased as you are in my life. I understand you support women, and that's great, but it clouds your judgment. Card Drew won. It was very close, but he won and it was fair. Just accept it and move on.
I'll move on when we have equal pay with men, when we are respected as equals in all industries, when men can understand what we do with our own bodies is our right, not theirs.
And you think a horror game challenge is the platform to do this?
I believe any platform is the right platform.
Well, the only platform we need right now is a podium to crown Card Drew the winner. Give the guy a medal.
That's right. Dismiss the woman and her voice.
Here we go again.
Yes, here we go again. All you men are the same, so self-centered.
Congratulations to Card Drew and all the other players on a great challenge. We'll see you soon on another episode. My deepest apologies for my colleague. She gets a bit emotional at times.
I can't believe you said that. You have no idea. Just you wait.
What are you going to do? Divorce me?
Oh, don't tempt me. I don't even remember why I married you sometimes.
For my money would be my guess.
Oh my God. I am so done with you.
Until you need a new handbag or shoes.